Check two, one, two. Check two, one, two. Check two, one, two. Check. Check one, check two, 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 two. Check two, one, two. Check two, three, one, two. Check two, three, one, two. Check two. Check two, two, two. Check one, two. That's two. Check two. Check one, two. Check two. Check two, two. Check two, one, two, check two, one, two, check two, check one, two, check one, two, check two, two, check two, one, two, two, one, check one, two, check two, one, two, check one, two, check two, three, four, five, six, one, two, three, four, five, six, check two, one, two, three, four, five, six, check two. One, two, check two, three, four. You guys good back there? I know. Hello again, everyone. I hope everyone enjoyed their lunch. Let's give a big round of applause to the staff at the Hilton Harrisburg with their assistance for today's event. And also to the Steve Rudolph Trio for today's entertainment. Now, before I turn the program over to our next speaker, please turn your attention to the screens for a brief word from our exclusive platinum sponsor, M&T Bank.
At M&T Bank, we believe in the power of together. Together, we can help your business grow. Together, we can move communities forward while giving back. Together, we can help your family spend more time on what matters most. And together, we can achieve more than ever before.
Now, please welcome Nora Hovick, Regional President of Central and Western Pennsylvania for M&T Bank.
So I have very disappointing news. Mayor Williams gave me a little hope. She's married to a Steelers fan. She is not a Steelers fan. She has about 1 million grandchildren, great-grandchildren, and they're still coming. Every single one of them is a Cowboys fan. She has bribed them with pancakes and French toast. It's not good. It's not good. Nevertheless, I must introduce her. So I move on. Thank you for having us here today, and it's my pleasure that we are again the sponsor for the State of the City lunch. At M&T, we are driven by a commitment to making a difference in people's lives, encouraging and enabling our customers, our colleagues, and the communities to thrive. We are really excited about hearing from Mayor Williams today about everything that's going on in the city. I mean, hearing that Harrisburg is the best place in Pennsylvania to live, that's really a tribute to what's been going on in the city. And so first, we're going to hear from Mayor Williams a little bit about what she's doing to cause that to happen here. And then we're going to open it up to questions and answers from several of her key department heads. Mayor Williams, while a Cowboys fan, is a lifelong resident of Harrisburg. She has dedicated her life to public service, first as an employee of the Commonwealth and then as a member of the Harrisburg City Council from 2010 to 2021. She was sworn in as mayor January of last year. She also serves as an executive board member of the Pennsylvania Municipal League, as a Dauphin County Democratic Committee woman, and as a board member for the Downtown Improvement District. Mayor Williams has worked tirelessly to stabilize the city's financial standing, positioning it to continue on this path of growth and progress. She is dedicated to supporting Harrisburg residents and making sure they have the resources they need to thrive and prosper. Please now help me in welcoming Mayor Williams.
I won't hold it against you because you're Pittsburgh Steelers fan. And I want to let you know some of my administration is Cowboy fans. Are we not? I know that's right. That's why I hired them. Good afternoon. Oh, wait a minute. You guys full already? Good afternoon. Well, that's what I'm talking about. Thank you to Ryan Unger, the Harrisburg Regional Chamber, and Creedy for hosting this wonderful event today at the Hilton. And thanks to all of you for coming. The Mayor's State of the City of Address is our chance to be honest with all of you. And I say our because while I may be the one standing in front of you right now, never before in the modern history of this city has there been this much intergovernmental cooperation and collaboration. City Hall is working in unison. More than 400 employees rowing the boat in the same forward direction. Now, what does that mean for all of you, the political and business leaders of this capital region? It means you are in the right place at the right time, the city of Harrisburg. And it means to tell your friends who think this town is stuck in the past, they better get on board. Because this train is picking up steam. The greatness of this city is being realized, and you will want to be here for the fireworks. The state of the city of Harrisburg is full of excitement and promise. And like Sam and Dave, who sang, "Hold on, I'm coming." Well, hold on, Harrisburg is coming. And some of you in this audience know about Sam and Dave, don't you? Come on. Come on. I don't want to tell your age, but that's all right. Well, today, I am proud to stand here and speak to you, not only about our accomplishments of the past year, but what we are also looking forward to for the next year. We do acknowledge that we are not perfect. And if we want to realize the dream that we all know the city of Harrisburg can be, there is plenty of room for growth. Now let us start with the one area I am maybe most proud of. The city of Harrisburg's debt nightmare is over. When I ran for mayor, I ran on the promise we would eliminate once and for all the $638 million debt going back over 25 years. 1 year ago on this stage, I promised we would be debt-free in 2023, and look where we are today. We have accomplished that this past March. We paid off the final $8.3 million to AMBAC Assurance, wiping away a debt which had ballooned to $26 million just a few years ago. In the process, we saved City of Harrisburg taxpayers millions of dollars. And with those funds, we plan to invest directly into the city's growth, infrastructure projects, safer roads, more secure neighborhoods, modernized parks, and future infrastructure projects. Thanks to the work of the finance team led by Director Marita Kelly. Stand, Ms. Kelly, please. An exit of the city's Act 47 status is in sight. The finance team has helped the city of Harrisburg restore its fiscal strength. In fact, we just presented our 5-year financial plan to the city's Intergovernmental Cooperation Authority. And thanks to our balanced budgets, our yearly surplus, and current debt-free status, we are confident in saying we will be able to leave Act 47 in the near future. For the first time in decades, the city of Harrisburg has the necessary funds to make large-scale capital improvements to this city. These will range from safer streets to greener parks, public safety to workforce development. Every person in this room will soon see the positive impact of this money. Most notably, and very publicly, I worked with City Council to pass more than $31.5 million in American Rescue Plan funds. It was not always easy, but like good government should, we got it done for the people of Harrisburg. To President Bowers and Harrisburg City Council, thank you. With this money, we will be able to build more affordable housing for low to moderate income residents, including seniors. Give our children a safe, modern pool to swim during the hot summer months. Provide resources for individuals to end unsheltered homelessness, and give our youth better access to career opportunities so they can become the next group of entrepreneurs and leaders of this city. The possibilities with these funds are endless. My office is constantly working to develop programs on how to use this one-time amount of funding. And we look forward to providing updates with all of you as we move in the right direction. Now, separate of that is the $13 million we are currently using to reimagine and redesign 4 of our city parks. For too long, Harrisburg playgrounds have been outdated and not inclusive for all children. Other towns have exceeded us, but not for long. Harrisburg is on the move. Our parks team, under our new director, Sasha Ross, please stand. Just wrapped up a 6-month public comment period, receiving input and ideas from families all throughout the city on how they would like to see the renovation of 7th and Radnor Park, Wilson Park, Gorgas Playground, and parts of Reservoir Park should look like. While the details are still being sorted out, my promise to you is that these parks will look completely different than they have, and for the better. They will be safer, modern, and accessible to everyone. Now, part of making Harrisburg a safe place to live is giving our kids a safe place to play. These parks will be complete by the end of next year, and in the spring of 2025, when our children are out playing in our new playgrounds, it will be a beautiful sight to see. Of course, there's another park that will look a little different come next spring, FNB Field on City Island, because the Senators are here to stay and they have decided to remain in Harrisburg. I am beyond proud of my administration for getting a deal done. The senators to give needed renovations, the senators to give needed renovations to F&B Field. Under my administration, working with our partners in state government is something we should embrace, not push away. The Commonwealth is picking up a $6 million tab to help give our stadium the improvement it needs to keep the senators here for at least the next 16 years. Now we move on to the Broad Street Market, because I know most of you are asking yourself, well, what about the Broad Street Market? Without the help of our partners at the county and state level, as well as private business partners, I'm honestly unsure what would have happened with the Broad Street Market brick building when it burned on July 10th. When that fire started, the lives of 22 vendors and countless Harrisburg residents changed instantly. Within hours, Governor Shapiro was on the phone, pledging the full support of his office and his administration. Knowing he had our back gave us the boost we needed to push forward. Thank you, Governor Shapiro. Thank you, County Commissioners, Priest, Hartwick, and Sager, and your staffs. Thank you, gentlemen. By the way, did you guys know that's my three amigos? You all have continued to give our city your support. Also, I would like to give a big shout out to our state legislators, David Madsen, Justin Femley, and Patty Kim. Are they in? Your presence, your words of encouragement and offers to assist are very much appreciated. Now, none of this would have happened, mind you, if it wasn't for the generosity of business owners, Josh Kessler, for allowing us to lease his plot of land to erect the temporary market. Josh, I thank you, and my city thanks you. With your help and resolve of the Broad Street Market vendors, I can safely say we are days away from being able to reopen the market to Harrisburg once again. The restoration, thank you. Thank you. The restoration of the Broad Street Market was never a question because of what it means to the people of this city. For many, it is the hub and heart of this community. People gather there to shop, eat, meet, and share family and community news. Our business developer, Jason Graves, is now working to bring more grocery options to the city. I am calling on these businesses to step up for this community. We have handicapped residents who do not have the ability to go to other areas and therefore rely heavily on the Broad Street Market for fresh food. There was once a time that the city of Harrisburg was a cultural and business destination. In recent years, as we have fought through financial recovery, this has gotten away from us. But we are in the midst of a great resurgence. In the coming weeks, you will see the city's economic development plan. This will be our blueprint. We will transform Harrisburg's future through equity and inclusion, access to healthcare services, supporting our local artists, and realizing that strengthening our culture is a keystone of small business growth. As our community policing efforts grow, so will our business fleet. As many of you know, we just reinstituted a youth curfew, which we hope will make your business and future businesses more desirable. The less time our children are out at night means the more they see and are hopefully focused on getting ready for the school year and the school day the next day. And the more you can focus on operating successful businesses. This is not to say we're not already doing incredible work now. Our licensing director, Michael Hughes, tells me that in 2022, we issued 635 business licenses throughout the city. That is the highest amount we have issued in a dozen years. Our 2022 tax collection was nearly $3.3 million, exceeding our projections by $269,000. We expect this revenue to continue to grow this year, thanks to large ongoing construction projects set to be completed. And as our business community grows, they will find in turn that working with the city of Harrisburg will be easier than ever, thanks to our IT unit. We are in the process of fully migrating over using Munis by Tyler Technologies. This will move Harrisburg from an antiquated 40-year-old system to modern digital technology. We have already transitioned our internal financial operations. And over the next year, the city's tax billing and collection, licensing and permitting, and utility billing will all be available with the click of a button and not having to worry about getting a parking ticket downtown. Our IT team, under the direction of Steve Bortner, is making great strides with the modernization of Harrisburg's mainframe. They are doing this, mind you, despite having to renovate the entire lower level after significant water damage in the spring. I am proud of their efforts and proud of how they are getting Harrisburg caught up to modern standards. My pledge to the business community is this: as we move forward with our Munis integration, business enterprise engagement for minorities, women, and disadvantaged will be at the forefront of anything we do when it comes to growing our business community. Thanks to the leadership of Mr. Carl Singleton. Harrisburg has placed a focus on diversity, equity, and inclusion more than at any other point in our city's history. The Equity Roundtable Mr. Singleton has established continues to meet monthly to learn best practices on the local, state, and national level. Leadership starts at the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. City Government Center. It is important to remember that the city's department's directors do not work just for me. They work for you, the people of Harrisburg. Half of Harrisburg is African-American. That is more than 25,000 people. The city of Harrisburg is the largest majority African-American city in the Commonwealth. A quarter of the city is Hispanic or Latino. As capital of the Keystone State, diversity is our keystone. If we are not ensuring DEI is at the core of everything we do, how can we expect the rest of Harrisburg to move forward in an equitable manner? That goes for whether we are talking about hiring practices or providing housing for disadvantaged communities. When I took office, one of my top priorities, if not the top goal, was to foster a city that could create more affordable housing. Our building and housing director, Denise Hill, is working every day to ensure not only are we bringing developers into the city who can make this possible, but also are individuals who represent this community. That is why I am so grateful to have people like former Philadelphia Eagle. Here's your Philadelphia Eagle. LaShawn McCoy come back home and start construction on the Savoy homes in the Uptown area. Or George Fernandez, President and CEO of the Latino Connection, who is building units in South Harrisburg and Allison Hill. Or the Bethel Village Affordable Senior Housing, a Bethel AME church dream made possible by Blaine Stoddard, Ryan Sanders, and business partners. These are great examples of work being done for a community by people who truly represent them, and I am proud to stand alongside our community partners. As mayor, I have met with several building developers, along with representatives from the PA Housing and Finance, Tri-County Housing, and the Harrisburg Housing Authority, in a good faith effort to produce more affordable housing for our senior population. Right now, our senior population list is 379 people on the list. I have also met with TLC Construction, owned by Terry Castile, who will begin construction next year for 50 affordable housing units in the Allison Hill neighborhood. And to developers here with us today, who may not specialize in affordable housing, I want to meet with you as well. Harrisburg should be open to everyone, whether it's affordable housing or market rate housing. Our Department of Building and Housing continues to do work for homeowners in the city through housing rehabilitation grants. We are now working with 12 contractors, and in the past year, we brought 20 homes up to code. Meanwhile, the Lead Safe program has made 230 homes built before 1979 free of harmful lead-based paint. And we plan to submit another 3.5-year grant to the Commonwealth. When homes are past their lifespan, the codes department is first on the scene. The issue of blighted properties is nothing new to Harrisburg or any urban center throughout the country. Since the start of the year, Codes has demolished 16 condemned and blighted buildings, clearing the way for green space and eventually new affordable homes. When all our departments are working in unison, it makes it possible to turn blight into something bright. Now, at the end of the day, though, we realize none of this matters if Harrisburg is not a safe place to live, work, and play. That is why I am continually grateful for the work being done by Commissioner Tom Carter and the Harrisburg Bureau of Police. Mr. Carter. In 2022, our detectives solved 18 of the 22 homicides in the city. That is a nearly 80% clip, about 30% higher than the national average. This year, shooting deaths are down considerably from a year ago, and Harrisburg police have taken more than 170 guns off our streets. But as we will agree, even one death, no matter how it happens, is one too many. The city realized that in order to stop gun violence, it starts with getting to group leaders first. The Group Violence Intervention Grant gives us resources to do just that. For more than a year now, police have been making inroads in the community with the help of our county law enforcement partners, our judges, and district attorney's office, and of course, our human service workers. We are working with citizen groups on the front lines of neighborhood gun violence. Our message to you is this: we are here in the city of Harrisburg to help you. And there are other paths, safer paths for you and your family. It is never too late to change. We are also leaning on our neighbors. The city of York has used the GVI program for about 6 years. For Harrisburg, this is a new strategy, and it will take time. And we are confident it will pay off with countless lives saved. But in the meantime, Harrisburg Police, is at the forefront of law enforcement technology, using cell phone programs to unlock, encrypt data from criminals' phones. They are also rolling out ShotSpotter technology, which can pinpoint where shots are fired in the city of Harrisburg and where officers are needed the most. Thanks to federal grants, we will have the money to make doorbell cameras available to numerous residents so everyone can feel safer in their home. Harrisburg City Police is also working with the Harrisburg School District to employ 20 crossing guards so our children can safely get to school on time and back home at the end of the day. When it comes to fighting fires, there is no greater unit than the Harrisburg Bureau of Fire to save the day. Under Chief Brian Ederline's watch, not a single person has died in the city of Harrisburg fire from the start of 2022 to present day. Chief Ederline. Oftentimes, when our neighbors need help, Harrisburg Fire is the first to respond. They are jolly on the spot. They are first there. Their training is impeccable. Harrisburg was on the scene after the building explosion in West Reading. And when there was severe flooding in Bucks County last year, when Florida needed help cleaning up after Hurricane Ian, we sent 8 firefighters down to the Gulf Coast as part of Pennsylvania's Task Force 1. And 2 of our firefighters were just named as experts in aquatic rescue for the Pennsylvania Heart Team. As mayor, I am beyond proud of the leadership from both Commissioner Carter and Chief Ederline. We are fortunate to have these 2 leaders in our community. We owe them and the men and women of their staff the ultimate debt of gratitude for keeping us safe each and every day. When I took office more than a year and a half ago, I pledged to the people of Harrisburg that I would be a mayor for everyone. My platform is driven by senior citizens, youth, and affordable housing initiatives. Someone living in Allison Hill or Uptown deserves the same attention and respect as someone living in Midtown or Shiloh. During the week, it's all business, and on Fridays, my doors are open. Over the past year, I have met with nearly 200 constituents. In addition, I have met with people from Carlisle, Westchester, Philadelphia, Thomastown, and various other cities in between. Now, I told them I was the mayor of Harrisburg, not all of them, but they still come. I listened to their concerns and we work together on how to make the city of Harrisburg better. We are doing better by our youth today than ever before. Our summer programs helped employ 137 kids this past summer, which was a nearly 100% increase from the summer of 2022. And with American Rescue Plan funds, City Council is helping us establish a workforce development plan, which will include a high school co-op initiative and a college internship program. And for the people who say there's nothing to do in Harrisburg, the city has Art Fest, Capona, Fire and Ice, the 4th of July Food Truck Festival, July Concert Series, Summer Movie Nights, and so many other special events, which we are back to pre-pandemic attendance levels. I was so impressed when I attended this year's Candle in the Water event and the Women's Empowerment Reception. Was also at the truly memorable Weekender Festival, graciously hosted by the Harrisburg Housing Authority. Future events coming up include the Halloween Bash at the Brownstone, an Italian Lake Fishing Day in October. The city of Harrisburg even just started an African dance workshop. And next week, we will debut interactive Spanish classes. Let's not forget though, in November, the annual holiday parade will come marching down 2nd Street with a variety of floats, musical acts, HBCU marching bands, and of course, Santa. Best of all, these events are entirely free and provide opportunities for families to come together. Lastly, I would be remiss if I did not thank the one person who makes this possible. The individual whose fingerprints are all over the positive direction which our city is headed, and who shies away from the spotlight. My business administrator, Dan Hartman. Dan, words cannot begin to describe how much I value and appreciate you. My friends, our best days are ahead of us. Because for the first time in years, all of us in this room have a shared vision together. My administration is excited to lead. You have heard about our plans. Now let me ask you, what will you do to help us make this a reality? The train is leaving the station. Are you ready to jump on board? Like Gladys Knight, midnight train? Well, midnight train to Harrisburg instead of Georgia. Or Tina Turner, rolling into Harrisburg, 222. So we're here. Please don't miss the train. Thank you all. Now, would my administration please come up to the table? All right. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
While the administration is getting ready, one more round of applause for Mayor Bruno. And now we're going to conduct a question and answer session with the mayor and her administration. Prior to the event, our attendees were surveyed for questions, and we'll now discuss many of them as much as we have time for. There's also an interactive element for you in the audience. If you use your cell phones to scan the QR code on your programs, you'll be asked to respond to a few questions as well. And because it is interactive and we have this technology, we'll be able to see the results simultaneously as we get them. So what I'd like to do first is have our panel go down the line here, introduce yourselves, your name and your title. Oh, okay, before we do, Mayor Williams would like to say something.
Thank you, Scott. I forgot about one important event that we were going to have, and that's in December 9th. And it's for the children of the city of Harrisburg. We want to have Santa Claus in the atrium. And any sponsors who would like to participate, I am available after the address. So let me know, and it's all for kids, and it gives back to the community. For those kids who will not have a Christmas, City of Harrisburg will have a Christmas for them. And with your help, we can make that happen. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. It's not very often that the mayor of the city, the size of the city of Harrisburg, is talking about Santa Claus and what the kids who may not have Christmas. So thank you for that, Mayor. So we get down the line here, have your name and your title.
Good afternoon, Chief Brian Enterline, the fire chief for the city of Harrisburg, as well as the emergency manager for the city.
Hi, I'm Jason Graves. I'm the Director of Business Development for the City of Harrisburg.
Good afternoon. I'm Denise Hill. I am the Director of Housing, Economic Development, and Planning and Zoning.
Dan Snow, engineer for the city of Harrisburg.
Hello, I'm Sasha Ross, and I'm the Director of Parks and Recreation.
Hello, I'm Dave West, Director of Public Works for City of Harrisburg.
So these are the questions that we received beforehand, and most of them are directed to Mayor Williams, but if we would like to, any of the other members of the administration would like to weigh in your different departments, feel free to. First question, I should say, congratulations once again on paying off the last of Harrisburg's 30-year-old debt. Now that those funds are no longer tied up in debt repayments, what are some of the projects that you and your administration are most excited about to put that money to work for the city of Harrisburg?
Oh, I thought I gave that.
You did, but
Yes, that's my question. The theme for Public Works is entitled The Next Level. Upon my arrival back to being Director of Public Works, the Highway Department will be focused on extending in-house paving projects. Our paving projects that are complete as presently is 13. By the time we finish the season for projects, we will be at 19. And we will continue to increase our paving within our highway department as we continue to grow our in-house paving, because we can pave more in-house than we can do in outsourcing, which costs more money. Also, we're looking forward and increasing our in-house demolition department. 15 years ago, from my 28-year tenure here with the city of Harrisburg, I was a demolition specialist. At the time, we had 5 demolition specialists. When the mayor won office, we were down to 2, but we are continuing to move forward to get back to the 5-member team of the demolition department, so we can continue in-house demolition, because in-house demolition will cost 25% of what we pay in outsourcing. So we can be better at our demolition process and achieve more demolition tear downs. Also, we are in the process of purchasing new equipment. So to be advanced in the projects that we are taking under hand. We have currently, under this administration, have purchased a new paver as of this year. And going into next year, we are asking to purchase an asphalt roller and a mini excavator to advance in our paving opportunities, to be able to pave more than the city has ever paved in the history of the city of Harrisburg. Currently, we have paved up to this point more projects this year than we've ever done in the history of the city of Harrisburg since we started paving in-house. Thank you.
Mayor Williams, I'm curious, you met with how many constituents, how many people?
200.
200. What was the biggest issue? Two-part question. What was the biggest issue, biggest concern that those constituents had? And the second part, to follow up on what Mr. West had to say, how many of them were talking about streets and condition of streets?
The 200 constituents I met with, majority of the concerns was for landlord tenant and the possibility of them losing their homes. The landlord tenants, as of this year alone, was increasing rentals fees from $750 to $1,400, $1,500. So that was the majority of the constituents' problem. Also, another question was for our traffic lights, which through Department of Public Works, we have been able to get our lighting system back up and running well. Now, what you said, what was your second
About the
question?
streets, how many talked about the condition of the streets and asking about pothole, asking about?
We get potholes and every day, every day. You know, they see a little hole and they say, "Oh, my car's gonna go in there." So, but we are so efficient about repairing potholes. As soon as I get a complaint, I forward that to Mr. West, and he is on the spot doing it that same day within an hour. As far as to be paving, they want every street in Harrisburg to be paved. My street is important, more important than that street. So that's the comments that I get. Don't do that street because you don't know, nobody goes down that street, but people come down that street. So what we've done is I had Mr. West evaluate what streets were prioritized, and then that's how he did the first 20 streets in the city of Harrisburg.
By the way, this is our first Mentimeter audience question. Compared to 5 years ago, would you say you spend more time in downtown Harrisburg, less time, or the same amount of time? 3 choices: A, more time; B, less time; C, the same. Okay, we're gonna just take a moment here to see the results. We can see them over here on the screen. And we know there's about 200 people here, so I'm assuming not everyone is using their cell phone, but we'll give it a few minutes.
I thought you were asking me because I'm here all the time. I go home at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, and they turn the lights. I have to tell them to turn them back on.
So this is an audience question, and I think this is pretty cool. We could do.
That is nice.
That's when they first.
Give it another few seconds. I think we see a trend as it is. More time. Most of the people in this room say they're spending more time in downtown Harrisburg than they were 5 years ago. Right after that, some time. And less time. That's the good news, is that people are spending less time in downtown Harrisburg than before. And, you know, think about it, with the pandemic and everything that's happened and how our lives were all disrupted. That's a good sign.
That is a good sign.
So keep that up there for just a moment. Now, this next question does have to do with the downtown and COVID. Our downtowns look a lot different post-COVID. With the paradigm shift in remote and hybrid work, how is the city working to attract businesses and foot traffic back to downtown Harrisburg? And how can the business community be an active partner in these efforts?
Yes, that is for me. It's an easy question, but also a hard one as well. The change that has actually happened with the city of Harrisburg is something that has happened across a couple of cities across the United States, is basically focusing more on the residential place, because there are a lot of people that actually want to move downtown. So we have to actually give them the attributes and give them things that they want to actually have to actually come in. So to actually help our businesses, we do need a lot more foot traffic. And that's something that's, in my eyes, has been happening for a very, very long time. And I know everybody wants like the state workers to come back, which is always an awesome thing. But we also have to focus on the actual resident base that actually lives in the city of downtown. Again, you have a lot of people who actually want to move in to the actual city. People want to have that downtown feel. I know the mayor mentioned earlier something that I am working on, and is like basic grocery stores. So everybody knows like the entire physical city limits of Harrisburg is an entire food desert. And in many aspects, we don't have food in basically lower income areas, and also in areas where you do have a high residential base. So if you just think about it, if you have, if I walk out of my home, I live downtown, and I need to go to the market to get groceries. I'm going to have to get in my car and drive somewhere outside the city limits to do that. But in the midst of that, you know what? I'm hungry now. Now I want to get something to eat. So now I turn and look to a restaurant in a nearby place to actually get something to eat, versus coming back downtown to actually frequent the restaurants and owners down here. So that is something that has to actually change and have to be more focused based on the actual residents within the city. And together, and again, just like I said, collaboration is the key. So like my line is always open. I'll basically mention everybody here and try to speak to everybody to see what we can do together to make this happen.
Just a while back, I think it was the Chamber of Creedy, when there was the economic forecast for central Pennsylvania. One of the questions that was asked of the audience, and I remember because the response was so overwhelming. So many people in the audience talking about how one of their main priorities was to see state workers return downtown. I don't have anything here that you can do with your cell phone, but just by a raise of hands, how many of you out there still see that as a major problem? That there's not having state workers downtown. Yeah, so there's still a lot of you out there that would like to see the state workers return. Don't know if that's going to happen, but you know, life has changed after COVID. Pardon me?
I did,
What do you say?
trying to get him back, but that was long ago.
You know, I wonder whether this is the new normal. This is what it's going to be for now on. Anyway, I get off our script. Revitalizing blighted residential properties and vacant commercial properties has been a priority of your administration, Mayor Williams, from the very beginning. Can you update us on these efforts, any obstacles you encountered in the process? You did talk a little bit about this, but always an issue. Maybe talk about those numbers again.
Well, one of the things that I am really cracking down on is that a lot of the repositories are coming over to the city of Harrisburg. And I have the honor of saying yes or no. And this year in total, I denied 100 repositories. And the reason being is that these individuals come from out of town. Give you an example, Plantation, Florida. She wanted to purchase 6 homes. And I questioned why she wanted to purchase the 6 homes in the city of Harrisburg. And she stated that she wanted to renovate them and, rent them out for affordable housing. And I asked her to submit a plan. Well, I never heard from her again. And I also asked, does she have a manager here, a property manager here that I would be able to communicate with, or my staff, to find out if any issues occur would that person be here in the city of Harrisburg? And of course, she never answered as well. So I've been really cracking down on those individuals who want to come into the city of Harrisburg and purchase property, because what happens is, last year we had 2 individuals purchase about 3 properties apiece. And I end up facing the burden of taking these houses down, costing between $8,000 and $15,000 per house. So I'm very, very careful about who purchases these homes and whether or not I am willing to offer them the opportunity to renovate these homes. I did have a young man come in here just 2 months ago from Philadelphia, and he wanted to do 5 homes. When I asked him what his plan was, he says, I was going to move in one and then renovate the other 4. Well, me being the nosy person I am, I did my investigation. So he had already put in to the bank that he had 5 properties in the city of Harrisburg. He was using those properties to obtain a loan through the bank in Philadelphia. So I'm very, very careful about how I do that, because it's very important to me that I do not want a continuation of blighted homes. Some of the foundations of these homes are still great. And I know there's a lot that come in, a lot of individuals who want to purchase them. And they've done a great job of renovating. One in particular on Green Street is amazing. And so that's the individuals that I'm looking forward to trying to work with, not those who want to come in here and use it for their benefit.
You mentioned that those meetings with constituents, that the number one issue that was discussed was absentee landlords for the properties that already exist, not those that someone wants to build. What can the city do? What can you do? What have you done to try to hold the feet to the fire of those absentee landlords who aren't keeping up the properties?
Well, we've been given a lot of citations. Now, our problem is we can give the citations out, but when it reaches the district justice level, they dismiss. So we really need to talk to the Commonwealth courts over there, President Judge over there, about how we issue the citations for a hole in the ceiling or mold in the corners or toilets that's ready to fall down to the first floor. We do give the citations out. We've given a lot out over the last year, but we have to hold our district justices accountable.
Another Mentimeter audience question. What are some of the things you or your employees consider when deciding where to live and work? And feel free to select more than one that we have on the list here. A, hobbies and recreational opportunities. B, schools. C, restaurants, bars, and nightlife. D, ease of transportation. E, property values. And again, you can add something if you would like to that. Like we have more people participating. I don't know if you can vote more than once. Anyway, again, I think we see a trend, and it's probably not surprising. Schools, Mayor, we just spoke recently about the reasons that people move into the city, live in the city, decide to stay in the city. Schools. What can you tell us about your administration and working with the Harrisburg schools?
Well, we are working with the Harrisburg School District, myself and Mr. Jason Graves. We've been working with Dr. Susky as to what type of plan we need, academic plan, curriculum plan that we need to come up with to enhance our education standards in the city of Harrisburg. So we are in that conversation as I speak.
What more would you like to say?
At this point, what more I'd like to see is that we have more parent involvement. Right now, we do not have parent involvement in the city of Harrisburg. And it's one of the things that's crucial.
moving on to our next question. Mary, you spoke about, and Mr. West did as well, street modernization. We've seen those efforts begin to pay off with increased property values and a better neighborhood feel in the slower, smoother, and safer two-way Second Street. How can we replicate this success in other parts of the city?
Well, we're also looking at, maybe I shouldn't say this because this is not out yet.
All right, we're making news, making news.
Yeah, I'm gonna keep that hidden right now. But also you see the progress we did on 7th Street, and that seems to be working very well. But we are looking at trying to do other things to make sure that we have a smoother ride in the city of Harrisburg. One of the most important is that we are gonna look at, before Mr. West ends the paving, is to do 6th Street, which is highly traveled by a lot of the individual workers coming from the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania up to the Division Street area. With Division Street, we're also looking at safety, because now we see the individuals are doing 50 and 60 miles going from 7th Street all the way down to 6th Street. So we're thinking about doing a roundabout in that area somewhere to kind of calm that. Also, oh, you like that too, Mr. Unger?
Right?
Oh.
They-
Oh, okay,
we learned
okay.
beforehand,
Okay,
he's a big
okay.
roundabout fan.
Oh, your big roundabout. Well, I can't do a roundabout. They want to do it at 4th and Division Street, but it won't work there because of the fact that most of your grade school kids are dropped off and picked up at those locations. So it wouldn't be, and safety. Division and Front Street? Nah. Nah. We don't have those statistics, because every time something happens, I'm on the blame. I need to know what happened.
This sounds
when
like
it
a
happened.
conversation you two have had. at the
Right.
office.
But we are trying to make sure that the streets are safer and calmer for the kids, because a lot of the traffic now, since it's taken away, 7th Street has taken away. Now it's flexing to 6th Street, and it also now is going to 5th and 4th. So we have everyone else using those particular streets.
You said 60 to 70 miles an hour.
Yeah, going down Division,
Wow,
staying out there.
wow.
Yeah, they're pretty fast, and we have to control that.
Okay, you're taking over the conversation.
That are gangs going down the road and not adhering to regular traffic.
Peggy Grove, we are not allowed to do a chase in the city of Harrisburg.
It's so wide, because it's really upsetting, and they drive over cars, the cars, et cetera, they're very disrespectful, and I know we can't change it all.
You think about Commissioner Carter, give her a police uniform. But I know what you're talking about. We've talked about, Commissioner Carter and I have talked about, and also with the 18-wheelers, well, we managed to get them off Division Street. Because you know, we have 5 and 6 of them parked on Division Street until. Oh, you're talking about the kids? Oh, with the ATVs. Well, Commissioner Carter, you may want to speak on that too, or
Yeah.
after the meeting, after the session.
Yeah, this will probably be your last question. You also spoke about redesigning several parks and playgrounds within the city. Harrisburg and Harrisburg and the surrounding region, blessed by geography and our incredible businesses and community members, are able to offer recreational opportunities for most, if not all, hobbies, interests, and activities. With quality of life playing an ever increasing role in attracting young people and workers, how is the city highlighting these opportunities to bring business and talent to the area?
I'll let Ms. Ross answer that, please.
When it comes to highlighting opportunities and attracting the new businesses and talents to Harrisburg, our 27 parks and playgrounds play a major role. Receiving one of our parks is a simple process to take just a few minutes. We have a host of vibrant groups such as Harrisburg Young Professionals, Central Penn Sports, and Harrisburg University with our amazing concert series. Our many events and programs also offer sponsorship opportunities. Getting a business brand in front of the community goes a long way. This year, sponsorships helped us bring free programming to the public, such as First Aid, African Dance, Spanish class, and our partnerships with UPMC Healthy Harrisburg. Finally, we have been expanding our social media presence and community outreach. Follow us at Harrisburg Parks and Rec on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and even TikTok.
Thank you. That concludes today's program. On behalf of the Harrisburg Regional Chamber and Creedy, thank you to Mayor Williams and her administration for taking time to present to us today. Let's give them one more round of applause. Core value for the Chamber and Creedy as an organization is that they always strive to be unrelenting and unapologetically positive storytellers about their work. And of course, the work being done in the region. Today, we all found plenty to talk about. Our challenge to you is to tell your friends what you learned today. Thank you all for your service to the city and to the community, everyone here in the administration, and all of you working out there as well. Now, we hope to see you again soon at some of the Chamber's upcoming events this fall, and you can get more information on the event lineup by going to harrisburgregionalchamber.org. Thank you for attending. Have a great afternoon.